Hey everyone, so in this video I'm just going to go through this week's epic weapons cache. And in this wheel we have 3 alert weapons. Now the first weapon is unique. It's one we've never seen before. Kapoor's Savage 6 Shooter. It has 35% attack, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, leech life, which, I'm sorry, this is never going to be a good craft in my opinion. So when attacking, a better chance to regain HP by 120% of the damage. But what I do like about this weapon is the pain spread on the 4th slot. Now, pain spread is a great way of spreading a lot of different status effects or for stacking bleed damage. Overall, I do think this weapon is pretty decent. You can always just craft off the 3rd slot, maybe add splash damage instead. Pain spread on a splash damage weapon is kind of interesting and different, but it would be a very unique weapon that I think could be applied in a lot of different circumstances. It's interesting that it's Kapoor's weapon, seeing as Kapoor does maim damage and isn't a high damage dealer. The 3rd, 4th, and maybe even the 2nd slot seem okay for him if he were to hold this weapon, but the attack slot doesn't make sense, so I think adding splash damage would be the best course of action for this weapon. The next weapon on the wheel is one that we're very familiar with. Ryan's defensive Blunderbuss. So this weapon, I really like it. 30% defense, 15% HP, focus stun, so when being attacked, a better chance to stun the enemy and get focus for 2 turns. To remind you again what focus does, it allows you to attack around human shields, and it also lets you ignore the effects of taunt and confuse. Now, with regards to taunt, if you have an attack up when taunted mod on your toon, and you get taunted, but you're focused, you can still rush and or do basic attacks and get the attack up when taunted mod boost. I guess the same could be said with the defense when confused mod. That could be effective if you're focused because you'll still get that defensive buff, especially if you're faced against a team that maybe has Georgia, for example, who can confuse, or maybe even Priya. And the last slot on this weapon, at the start of battle and at the start of every turn, apply a 10% defense buff to all teammates. All in all, it's a pretty good weapon. I really like the focus stun ability. I like that it's already a defensive weapon, and the defense boost on the 4th slot. It could be left, or you can upgrade it to the alert defense, for example, where you get 10% defense at the start of every turn for every alert toon on your team. The last weapon in this weapon wheel, I'm not a huge fan of it. It looks kind of cool. So Lydia's Disarming Pistol, 30% defense, a medium bonus to AP when taking damage, attack down, so when attacking, a better chance to cause minus 30% attack for 3 turns to the enemy. Now, a better chance is only about 35% of the time, and I just don't think minus 30% attack is that effective, especially when it's an aggressive move. It's not passive. If it was passive where the enemy had to attack you, then having a weapon with attack down on a human shield, for example, could be very effective. And finally, the 4th slot, a 25% chance to heal a teammate by 50%. I just don't like the odds of 25%. When it does work, great, but when it doesn't, well, it's just kind of like a sitting 4th slot. I kind of like having a 4th slot ability that will always occur. So like fast healing on a fast weapon, I really like, or alert buffs, as I mentioned before. So for every alert toon on your team, alive or dead, they'll give you a 10% defense boost to all other teammates. Overall, I just like guarantees a bit more. There are some constant crafts that you can put onto a weapon that'll make it effective in almost every single situation. So I just think that this weapon could be upgraded to be better. I wouldn't want to pull this weapon at all. I don't think there's a single toon that I would give this specific weapon to, because I think I could craft something better. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video.